1247 on TSN 690. Welcome back to Game Points with Matthew Ross. Canadians win 4-1 at the Bell Center this evening. Time for Fantasy Hockey Nuggets. Players that you should pick up in your hockey pool out there. Now, if you're in one of those hockey pools where you draft a team and that's it for the year and you don't get to add or drop any players, it's, like the old Gazette pool or something. Oh, yeah, I pity you. Because half the fun of the hockey season is going through the box scores and reading about all the players that are having good years or bad years and trying to adjust your roster accordingly. And so that's what we try and do here in this segment is help you with your roster. And Mo Khan, Stefano Micella here in studio to help us out. And Jimmy G, you're certainly allowed to throw in a pick or two here if you have one on your mind as well. So I'm going to kick it all off. I'm going to go with one of Mo Khan's boys. He's a Red Wings fan. I'll let you know that Damian Brunner might be a good time to buy high on him. He scored his first NHL goal tonight, and he had the shootout winner last time for the Red Wings, and they lose tonight, but Brunner gets his first of the year. He's playing with Zetterberg and Datsuk, and you know that rookie is going to get a whole lot of opportunities, and I think he's going to have a pretty darn good year. So have a look at Damian Brunner. Depending on what league you're in, he may have eligibility at more than one position, center and right wing. Mo?
I'm going to go with the kid from St. Louis, Vladimir Tarasenko, who had a strong performance over the weekend against Detroit with 2 goals, had 3 points against Nashville on Monday night. He's been a bright star for the Blues up till now, and they expect big things from him, especially with TJ Oshie there and the young Blues core that they have going on for them. So keep an eye out for Vladimir Tarasenko, the St. Louis Blues, who's done a very good job. Only 21 years old this year, and again, he is going to be a special kid for the Blues for years to come.
I'm looking at Cody Hodgson of the Buffalo Sabres. He had a really good game against Philadelphia on Sunday. A goal, 7 shots on goal, and a 1944 of ice time. So I figure that the Sabres are going to give him plenty of opportunities to create some offense. So I'm going to go with Hodgson.
All right. Elsewhere, how about the rookie in Tampa Bay, Corey Conacher? Kind of a David Desharnais type of story. Was not drafted. Had to take a longer route. He's diminutive as well, as they say. He's got 6 points in 3 games. A rookie right now. 6 points in 3 games for Corey Conacher. He's playing on the power play unit. He's playing in even strength situations with Vinny LeCavalier and meshing quite well. He can play center. He can play left wing. Have a look at Corey Conacher of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm looking at Andrew Cogliano, Anaheim Ducks. 4 assists so far in 2 games for the Ducks. Is off to a great start. We're seeing Bruce Boudreau implement a high-scoring run-and-gun offense for this Ducks team here, and they've done a good job so far on the road, winning in Vancouver and, of course, in Calgary the other night. So Cogliano could be a guy to look forward to as being your third-line center. 4 assists in 2 games. He is a +5. Remember, he was drafted in the first round 5 years ago. Did not live up to expectations in Edmonton.
Right.
But it seems like with his lesser role or secondary role with the Ducks, he's done a much better job so far.
Looking at Pierre-Marc Bouchard of the Minnesota Wild, and obviously a lot of concussion problems the last couple of years. It's kept him out of action. But the first 2 games, he had a goal assist, a +2 rating. So really good start for him so far, and especially with a Minnesota Wild team that definitely improved during the offseason. You got to think it's a much bigger opportunity now for him to create some offense.
All right, I think we're going to see a bounce-back year from Michael Grabner of the New York Islanders. A couple years ago, he had 34 goals. Last year, he dipped down to 20-something and only 30-something points on the year. He's still playing on the second line, but he's getting more power play time this year. He does have a power play goal already and an assist. So 2 points in 2 games so far from Michael Grabner on a team, the Islanders, that should be better than what they have been over the last few years. Michael Grabner to bounce back this year.
We haven't spoken about him yet. Thomas Vanek of the Buffalo Sabres off to a flying start. 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists in 2 games so far, +3. Very un-Vanek-like, given that he is known to be an offensive guy, not known to be really good in his defensive end in the rink here. But with Buffalo playing really well, beating Toronto the other night with Ryan Miller doing a great job in the ACC, Thomas Vanek is going to be the key guy for the Sabres for them to have any chance if they are to make a playoff run for the 7th, if not 8th playoff spot. So if you have Thomas Vanek available, pick him up because 6 points in 2 games, a great start for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Moving on, you mentioned the Blues earlier with Tarasenko. How about Patrick Berglund? He's a big, tall second-line center and maybe the most important guy on that team. You know the first line's going to produce, but if they're going to have a shot, the Blues, of maybe contending for the Stanley Cup this year, they're going to need a second line of offense. They're going to need Berglund to step up and get it done. He had a goal tonight in the loss to Chicago. He's producing so far early on in this season. He's playing with Jaden Schwartz, the youngster, and Chris Stewart. That's an interesting player right now for me, is Patrick Berglund, the center for the St. Louis Blues.
Looking at a guy like, although you probably look at him every year, Jaromir Jagr, already 4 points in his...
Oh, Jagr, right. Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, pretty good. 4 points in his first 2 games, and obviously the Stars getting him and Ray Whitney in the offseason and looking for some veteran experience, and he may be a guy that the Stars lean on a lot this season, so I'm looking at Jagr.
I'm looking at the goaltending now. In particular, one guy to keep an eye out for is Craig Anderson, the Ottawa Senators. So far, 2 games, .50 goals against average. People were wondering, would Anderson still be the number 1 guy for the Sens? And so far, he's done a great job, 2-0. And he was the key reason why the Sens did so well last year.
Yeah.
And Paul McLean will rely upon him heavily, probably playing 35, if not 40 games this year. And if he can keep up with the paces here, he could be a real steal for anyone out there looking for a goaltender, and if he's available in the free agent market.
Well, he's not going to be available in any pools, but you might have a guy who's willing to trade him and trade him for something else. So yeah, Anderson certainly. I don't think he's going to fall off from what he did last year. He was hurt for part of the year last year. You had a guy like Ben Bishop step in and do some pretty good stuff. Robin Lehner as well in that organization. But overall, Anderson certainly is the guy. All right, my final guy here on my list is Adam Henrique. Now he's hurt right now for the New Jersey Devils. A good rookie last year. He had double-digit points in their Stanley Cup run as well last year. The reports say that he is potentially going to play his first game this weekend. And if that's the situation, go out and pick him up right now, because Henrique will produce with the New Jersey Devils. They won without him again tonight, but Adam Henrique is a guy who could put up almost a point a game in a shortened season, or at least the amount of games that he's able to play this year. And finally, Stefano, do you have one more for us?
Looking at possibly Brendan Saad of the Chicago Blackhawks, and he got some ice time with Taves and Hossa. Hasn't really come through yet offensively, but I still expect him to eventually pull through, especially if he keeps getting playing time with the top 2 lines.
All right, that's S-A-A-D, the last name, correct?
That's right.
All right. There you go. Jimmy, any thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking of Tobias Sandstrom in Winnipeg, 4 points in 2 games. I know he missed 20 games last year, only 33 points in 62 games, which is okay for a defenseman who plays the power play. But 4 points, 2 games. Hopefully he can have a good season if you can pick him up.
All right. There you go. Fantasy Hockey Nuggets. That's the segment here on Game Points with Matthew Ross.